Welcome everybody. Hi, we're gonna do a free live training today called Worthy of It All. Love, health, and wealth is your birthright. And this just kind of came on my heart today. I've been doing some meditating and I really just wanted to come and serve you guys here in the free group. So settle in, we're gonna hang out for a minute. We're gonna talk all about worthiness and what that has to do with love, health, and wealth, and how we can utilize our knowing of our self-worth to increase the probability that we can accept and receive love, health, and wealth in our life. So hi, how are you? Go ahead and drop hi Haley, drop in the comments below like where you're from, say hi. You can shout out your town, tag a friend, all of that good stuff. So let's talk a little bit about what is self-worth. So self-worth is often confused with self-esteem and confidence and all of that kind of stuff, but it really is so different. I see confidence and self-esteem as things that we can change by, of course, there's a plane that wants to come right in the middle of my life. Self-esteem and confidence are things that we can change by doing things in the external world. Okay, like maybe if I increase my self-esteem, if I dress nicer or wear makeup every day, it could increase my self-esteem. But my sense of self-worth is this like innate knowing, right? It has nothing to do with anything outside of me. It is the belief, right? Because I can have self-esteem and feel like that I'm showing up well in the world and still feel or believe, right, deep inside that something's wrong, right? So here's a good example. Like when I was a teenager, I was very small, very skinny, and I knew that other people thought that I was skinny, so I felt like I had a high self-esteem around that area of like my figure. However, I didn't feel like I looked good, right? Because there was a belief system inside of me. My sense of self-worth was low, and I just didn't believe that I was like attractive, right? So we can have a different sense of self-worth than our self-esteem. And I think of self-esteem as like more of this external thing, right? More of a superficial thing. And self-worth is the core of our being. This is in the inner parts of our being where we know no matter what I look like, feel like, no matter what you say about me, no matter what happens, whether I have a lot of money or not, whether no attachments to anything outside of me, I know some shit about myself, right? I know this truth of who I am. And that determines, right, that truth that we know about ourselves, these positive things that we believe in the core of our being, those determine how we present ourselves. It's that person who walks in the room like they own the place, right? They would have a sense of belonging, right? That's a part of our core sense of self-worth, that I belong wherever I walk, right? That I'm good enough for things. So our sense of self-worth is in direct relation to how much love, health, and wealth we're able to receive in our lives. Because what we believe is what we receive. Say that again. Are you ready? You want to say it with me? What we believe is what we receive. So if I'm putting this vibe out into the world that I'm deserving of love, I deserve soulmate relationship, I deserve, right, then I'm going to align via the law of attraction with the desire of my heart in that area. If I believe that I'm deserving of wealth, then I'm going to align with the things that I believe are symbols of wealth in the world. If I believe that I am worthy of health, then I'm going to align with the things that I believe are symbolic of health in the world, right? It's the law of attraction, and it's based on what I vibe is what I get, right? What I vibe is what I align with. And what we vibe is directly determined by our self-worth, because what we vibrate out is what we believe we are deserving of. So this also happens, unfortunately, right, with the other end of the spectrum. If I have bad core beliefs about myself, or core beliefs about myself that are not serving, right? If I believe that I'm deserve to be abused, abused because I've been abused my whole life, then I'm going to vibrate at this level that attracts more abuse into my life. Okay, if I believe that I deserve to live in poverty, then I'm going to vibrate at a level that attracts more poverty into my life. So what is going on in that core sense of self-worth, right? What beliefs we have about ourselves and about what we deserve and about our worthiness is directly going to impact what we can receive in our lives, what we're creating in our lives. So if we want more love, health, and wealth, right, we have to vibrate at the level of, I believe that I am worthy of love, health, and wealth. So then we have to do some digging, right? We have to go in there, inside of ourselves, inside of our belief systems, and we have to figure out, what is it that I currently believe about myself and my worthiness in terms of love, health, and wealth? Do I truly believe that I deserve the greatest soulmate relationship on the planet? Is that what I really, really believe? Because, and what you've been attracting so far is a good indicator of what you believe currently, right? It's a good way for us to figure it out. Take a look at your relationship patterns. Like, what is it that I've been attracting over and over and over again, even though it's not serving me, even though it's not what I truly know that I want in my mind? Maybe I have a belief inside that that's what I'm deserving of, right? If it keeps repeating, if it keeps showing up, then we have to take a look at, like, do I believe that's all I'm worth? Do I believe this is all I should get? Because why haven't I gone after more? Why haven't I changed my vibration? Why am I not vibrating at the level of what it is that I want, right? In my mind, what I know I want. Why am I attracting this? So we have a still small voice. So this is where we start, right? We start by utilizing the concept of the 4 roles of royalty. Number 1 is speak to yourself like royalty. So we have to start listening to ourselves. We have to start listening to our gut. We have to start listening to this little voice, right? We all kind of have this inner dialogue where we hear something like, I want this, I want that. So it's a navigation system. It could come as a feeling, it could come as a little voice in your mind, right? We have this still small voice inside that helps us to navigate our life. Call it the intuition, right? Call it the voice of God, call it whatever you want. We all have one. We all have that little thing inside, that knower, that can that pushes us in a different direction. Now I think of the still small voice as the one that comes and tells me when it's time to stop doing things that are bad for me and tell me to start doing things that are good for me. So in that moment when you've just had like a really terrible situation for too long, you're tired, you're in pain, you're over a situation, you're like, this isn't serving me, and I keep showing up, what the fuck, right? It's that thing that goes, hey, like, you're better than this. Hey, it's time to move on. Hey, it's time to go after more. Hey, you can do better, right? It's that little voice that nudges you to exit the things that are killing your soul and start the things that will help you to become your highest potential. Now, oftentimes we ignore that voice. Oftentimes that voice shows up and we go, yeah, whatever, right? But we have to start learning to listen. Listen to the voice instead of ignore it. Listen to the voice instead of hush it up. Listen to the voice and give it a platform, give it a space where it can become louder and louder and louder. Then we can hear it clearer, and it doesn't take as much effort or silence to hear it anymore, right? So I want you to think back to your history, right? What's happened in your life? When have you had that little still small voice speak up before? When have you had that thing just nudge you in a direction, right? Looking back at your life and remembering when that happened for you before is a good way to get to know it, to get to know what it feels like and sounds like for you. Now, a good question to ask now is, how is that voice showing up right now? Have you been ignoring it? Has it been giving you a message about what you deserve in terms of love, what you deserve in terms of health, what you deserve in terms of wealth? Have you been at the same job for 10 years and getting denied for the raise, and it keeps telling you, you need to get out of here and go after something better, right? Have you been in the same relationship or attracting the same person over and over again, and that voice is going, hey, you need to get out of this relationship, or hey, you need to go out there and get back in the field and try again, right? It's time to try again. Something like that, right? That voice could tell us different things about love. Even health, right? Is that still small voice speaking up and going, ugh, every time you eat that food, I feel really bad, right? Stop eating this food. Or is it saying, hey, you really need to seek outside of yourself, seek something different for your health? It can tell. That's still small voice, right? Our intuition. We're connected to an infinite intelligence that has all the answers, past, present, future, knows everything. And we are connected to that. So therefore, we are also infinitely intelligent. So whenever we have a question about anything, we can just align with that infinite intelligence and receive the answer, right? We can receive the answer. So if we have any questions about our health, right? Is there a medicine that I need to be on? Is there a medicine that I need to come off? Is there something I need to start eating that's going to serve my body better? What kind of workouts should I be doing in my life right now in this season of my life? Like any of those answers about any area, our love, our health, our wealth, we can ask those questions to our intuition and be told an answer if you know how to listen to this voice, right? How to tap in and tune in to the answer. And here's the big kicker, right? If you know how to receive that answer, trust that answer, implement that answer into your life, and actually follow the guidance, be obedient to the guidance and follow it and do it, right? Actually act, right? Because a lot of us are very, very connected. We just haven't practiced like being obedient. We haven't practiced hearing and receiving the solutions and then actually going out there and doing what it takes to follow that guidance, right? We haven't practiced trusting and having faith in that guidance to move us in our life like it's something we have to depend on, right? Like it's life or death, right? I trust my intuition like it's life or death now because I've spent so long in my life ignoring it and seeing the terrible consequences that happen from ignoring that still small voice. And then once I began practicing listening to it and being obedient, showing up and doing the work and actually following the directions that I was given in my meditative states, then my life got better. Things got amazing. And we can't even begin to fathom the kind of beautiful life that God has in store for us. God has this divine, amazing will for us. It's 10 million times better than anything that you could have ever hoped or dreamt for. And we just continue going on every day, like ignoring all of that message, all of that guidance, all of that energy, right? We just ignore it and we go on, we continue to live our lives based on other people's opinions or advice or based on what we think we should do logically or on paper or because of a blog post or whatever, right? Like we just follow all these things that are superficial, and that real substance, right? That's real spiritual substance that comes with listening to and learning to receive a divine guidance will absolutely change your life. So that's what we want to talk about first, right? We really want to get in tune with that and know that you're loved and you're supported by the universe and that God wants to help you rid yourself of all of those old belief systems that aren't serving you, to rid yourself of all of those thoughts and feelings and energies and heal from the past trauma and create space in your energetic field to receive like the highest levels of love, health, and wealth, whatever that would look like for you, right? Because it's a different picture for everybody. Yours is going to look different than mine. It's going to look different from the next person. A good place to go next is to talk about that innate worthiness. We're not just worthy of being, right, and existing. We talk about that a lot. You're worthy just because you are. I'm worthy because I am. I'm good enough. Just being. But it's so much more than that too. It's like beyond that, right? We're worthy of excellence. We're worthy of abundance. We're worthy of this incredible, highest, high vibrational life. And we have to open up to receiving more than just enough, more than, not just my cup being full, right? But an overflow that helps me to step into my higher potential, where I get to go back out and serve and give and spread, because I have so much, right? I don't just have enough for me. I have so much that I can go and I can give out back to the world in some way, right? We have to open up to this idea of a limitless possibility, right? Not just the best case scenario, whatever I can dream up in my mind, right? I can dream some big, big things for myself. But every time I dream something big for myself, and then I surrender that vision over to God, and let God support me in creating that vision, it's 10 times better than I could have ever imagined. It feels 10 times more fulfilling than I could have ever imagined. And there's so many beautiful divine details along the way that are better than I could have ever imagined. So let's ask ourselves, what is that highest vision in terms of love for myself? What would that look like? What kind of partner would I have? Or if I'm already with somebody, would that relationship evolve and be different and better in some way? What would that look like? Your highest, most amazing vision of love. And we can bring in all types of love, right? What would my love and relationship with God look like at the highest level possible? What would my relationship with my family look like at the highest level? Think about love on all forms, right? And really picture, if you had 10 times more love than you currently have in your life, what would that feel like? How would that look? Maybe there would be people in your life that you don't currently have, right? Maybe we can envision meeting new friends and having this like abundant group of friends that we didn't have before. What would it look like? What would it feel like? Let's do the same with this idea of health. What would your health look like on the highest levels possible? How would you feel in your body? What would the results say at the doctor? Like, think about all those things that you think about with health. What would it feel like to wake up in the morning? What kind of sleep would you have? And 10 times that vision. The most optimal state of health that you can imagine. And let's do it with wealth, right? And this isn't just money. This is wealth of all things. What would it be in like your most abundant state possible? What does wealth mean to you? Does it mean freedom? Does it mean time? Does it mean money? Does it mean peace, right? What do you need an abundance of? How would wealth show up in your life at the highest level? Imagine that, and then 10 times it, right? Shift into that overflow mindset of more than I could even dream of and ask for. And hold that vision, hold that vibration in your being, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your body. Let it move down until you can feel it as if it's already here. Keep seeing it, keep envisioning it, and just hold all of that beautiful goodness in your being. Keep holding that. Take deep breaths. Now, what does it feel like to be this connected to the vision of love, health, and wealth in your life? You guys can drop in the comments. If you have something to say, you can just do this. It's okay. Either way is fine. Holding that strong vision of your most highest form of love, health, and wealth. Now that vision that you're seeing right now, I want you to tell yourself that I am innately worthy of this vision, right? That this is the vision that God has for me, and then some. That is the vision that I've always deserved. That's the vision. That's the life that I came into this world innately worthy of. I came into this world good enough for. This is the vision that God believes I'm good enough for right now. They don't have to do anything special. I don't have to be anything else. I don't have to try or pretend or mask, right? I don't have to lie. I don't have to be somebody else. That this vision is what God intended for me. That's the vision that I came into this world with the blueprint of. That's the vision of my life that there are keys to unlock if I can just believe that I deserve that, right? If I can just believe that I'm worth that, if I can just align to it already existing. And tell yourself that this is done for you. Tell yourself that this life has already been created for you, because it has, right? God created that life for you before you ever even came here. It's one of the many, many possibilities for your life. We all have a highest timeline. We all have like the best case scenario that our lives could go if we made correct and aligned decisions, right? If we listen to the still small voice, if we take that advice and implement it into our life, if when God puts a green light in our path, we actually go, right? If when God shows us a door and says walk there, we actually walk through the door, right? If we can let fear exit our body and reside in faith on our path, that's the vision for us, right? It doesn't take a lot of effort. It doesn't take a lot of work, right? It takes conscious aligned action. It takes being in tune with the still small voice, with the voice of God, with the voice of our intuition, with the voice of our higher self. It takes being connected deeply to us, to our dreams, to our hearts, to our soul, to what we truly desire and want, and letting that be okay, and knowing that it's not selfish, knowing that it's not wrong, knowing that it's okay for me to dream big and massive and have a huge desire in my life, that it's okay for us to align to that it's safe, that all those things coming up about what would people think about me and how would it affect the people around me and all of that, right? That it's okay, that's just fear creeping up, and that we can just put our hand on our heart and take a big deep breath in and feel safe to feel that vision as if it's happening right now. That we are good enough for it. That it's not a pipe dream. That we're not getting our hopes up by dreaming, right? We're not getting our hopes up. We're getting our faith up. And we're aligning to a vision of a highest timeline that are God's will for us. Now, as we're holding that vision, I want you to think about what's in the way, right? What's creeping up for you now? What's coming to the surface? What are the beliefs? What are the thoughts? What are the things that have impacted your sense of self-worth? What are the things that have told you that you're not capable of that, right? That you don't deserve to dream big, that you don't deserve to go after what you really want? What told you that you have to stay small, or what told you that that's not for you, or what told you that you're mediocre, or what told you that you wanted to think you needed to think more realistically? What was it? Who was it? What's the voice? What's the thoughts? What's the feelings, right? Maybe it's just history, right? What's happened in your life repeatedly that's made you think, I guess that's just the way that it is for me, and that I can't have that higher vision. Let's take a look at those things that have impacted that sense of innate worthiness, right? Because when we come into this world as little innocent babies, we all have this pure innate worthiness, and we just think that we deserve everything, right? We believe that we should just be taken care of, that everybody around us should support us and love us and care for us and do all the things, right? There's no doubts that we'll be taken care of. We come completely incapable, in pure faith, that we will live and grow and be fed and be loved and be changed and be, right, protected and all the things, right? And then when those things don't happen in accordance with like our unconditional innate beliefs about how things should be, then we begin to doubt that pure, limitless beingness, right, of our soul. So when we are met with disappointment and when we're let down and when we're not treated in accordance to what our soul knows about what we deserve and how we deserve to be treated, right, we begin to doubt. And we think this is just how the world is, and this is just how I am, and this is just what I deserve. But if we can remember, right, who we are in our soul, who we are at the deepest cellular levels, right, we can remember that we're connected to an infinite source, that there's stardust in our DNA, that we are part of creation, that we're magical in that way, right? That we have this ability to connect, to create, to make things out of nothing, right? That our thoughts, that when we think thoughts and we speak words, and that we can create life, right? That we have that same power, right? Because we are connected to a power greater than ourselves. We're connected to God, and therefore the power of God, I have the ability to harness it here on earth as a human being by being connected and staying in tune. Just remember who you are, that you're worthy, that you're powerful, that you have a high potential, a limitless potential. That's true for every single being on the planet. You are not different. You're not alone, right? You're not just the one human being that got left out of the mix, right? You got all of those innate things too. Power, worth, power, and potential. You got all three when you came into this world. You have to remember who you are and remember that that's you. So all of those things, right, that we attached to our sense of self-worth, all of those things that we let get in the way, right? It's time to break those down now. It's time to release those. If I started basing my worth off of other people's reactions to me, if I started basing my worth off of how much I can do and make, create, and produce, right? If I started to base my sense of self-worth off of how much money I acquired in the bank, right? If I started to base my sense of self-worth off of what I look like, right? Or that I can make others feel good, right? All of these things that can happen over time that we can just begin to connect to our sense of self-worth. We start to say, I'm not worthy unless I, A, B, and C, right? Fill in the blank with whatever your thing is, right? I'm not worthy unless I have a boyfriend. I'm not worthy unless I'm look pretty. I'm not worthy unless I, have a high paying job. I'm not worthy unless I have this nice car. I'm not worthy unless I, right? We do this. We acquire these attachments to our sense of self-worth, where we start thinking that our worth is dependent upon some shit outside of ourselves. And that's just absolutely untrue. It's absolutely untrue. Your worth is not dependent on anything outside of you. It's something that you have. It's something that you got as just a gift from God that you entered the world with. You have absolutely nothing to prove. You owe nobody anything. You are worthy just because you are. And that applies to love, it applies to health, it applies to wealth. It's your birthright, right? There's these concepts of the universe, of being surrounded by an energy of love, right? The earth radiates love. The plants radiate love. Love radiates down from the heavens, right? Love is all around us. You're innately worthy of love. Health is homeostasis. We come in healthy. Our bodies know exactly what health is. It will return to, even if you get unhealthy, it can return to health if you allow it the space and time, if you give it the right conditions, right? Our bodies understand health. What they don't understand is sickness. That's what doesn't make sense to a body, right? Health is our birthright. We were given all the right conditions to thrive in. Nature creates everything that we need. It creates our food. It creates our water. It creates our medicine. Everything that we need is here. It was given to us. It's innately ours. Health is innately ours. Wealth is innately ours, right? The world, nature exists in the energy of abundance and overflow, of more than enough. The way that everything interacts, there's always a more than enough. Energy, water, food, right? The things that we need come from the world. It's an overflow of abundance. So let's take that same vision, right? The vision of you at your highest high, the love, the health, and the wealth. And let's make a plan. We're going to make a 5-step plan to move in that direction. But we're only going to focus on one of those things today, right? Think about it. If I was going to just move in that direction, what would my first little baby step be? Right? Which one of those areas is the most important to me? Love, health, or wealth? What can I do to move a little bit further and deeper into that vision? How can I show up for myself today to create that? What's the aligned action? And we're going to receive that. We're going to ask, what's the aligned action? God, what do you want me to do? What would you have me to do to move closer into your will for me? Receive that. Allow it to come in. If you can, journal it out. If you want to sit in meditation for a moment and just receive. And when you hear something, when you get your action, when you get your direction, drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear what God's telling you to do. And keep it going, right? Try to receive step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, that you can create a list of a plan where I can just move a little bit closer, knowing that today is good enough, that I'm good enough right where I am, that it's okay for me to be here right now in this moment, exactly how I am, and also have this amazing vision for the future and go after that I get to do both simultaneously. That I'm going to love myself and support myself, knowing that I'm so deserving and worthy just as I am right here today. It's okay to be me, where I'm at today, and also have this huge, amazing vision for the future. And that it's about the journey. It's about the journey feeling good. It's about me being proud of myself and feeling successful as I walk this path to more. So what's your one thing? Go ahead and close your eyes down. I'm going to bring you through a little meditation and then we'll close up this training. You can breathe deeply for me. Breathe in deep through your nose. And let's just affirm a few things to ourselves. That I'm good enough. That I am beyond good enough. Say it with me. I'm beyond good enough. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of wealth. I'm worthy of health. That those things are my birthright. I came here good enough. I'm still good enough. And am worthy of God's will for me. Big deep breaths in. But all the things that I've attached to my worth are a lie. They're not real. It's not true. I've been living my life, connecting my worth to these things outside of myself. And that is not the truth of my spirit. The truth of me is that my worth is intact. My worth is innate. That I am loved, I am healthy, I am wealthy in God's eyes. That I'm good enough on all levels, all of the time. Always have been, and I always will be. Big deep breaths. Allowing myself to know that my worth is pure, that nothing can take it from me, nothing can make it shake, nothing can break it. It's just something I have, no matter what anybody's done to me, no matter what I do wrong. Nothing can take my value as a person. That I'm just as valuable as every other person on the planet. And every other person on the planet is just as valuable as me. That I get to hold my right of equality today. That I am worthy. That I am powerful. That I have unlimited potential. I am a limitless being, connected to infinite intelligence. And I have all of my own answers. I am connected to Source God. There is a still small voice inside of me that guides me in the right direction. And it is my inherent right to be connected to that voice. I get to listen to that voice. I get to follow it. I get to be guided by it. I get to take the aligned actions that it tells me, and I get to take them with faith and deep knowing that I'm being led on purpose, that I'm being led in love, and I'm being led in love to the highest and best, most amazing version of my life that I could possibly imagine. That I'm being led down a pathway that's 10 times more amazing than anything I could even dream up for myself. And that the key to me unlocking this fullest potential is to just know that I deserve it. To just know that I'm worthy of it. And to just listen and receive the aligned actions. And so we're going to open up now. Move into a posture of receiving, right? We're going to open our chest up. We're going to roll our shoulders back. We're going to open our hands up. We're going to lean our head slightly back. We're just moving into a posture of receiving. And just getting all of that goodness that's going to flow in from the universe now. See it all. See the energy coming down from the heavens, pouring right into your chest. Excuse me. And what I want you to do is just move side to side, just slightly. Let that body receive as we move, right? It releases old energies and helps us to receive the new ones. Make space for the new ones. So just rock back and forth slightly. Breathing in. Receiving the energy directly into your heart center. And if can feel any movements here in your heart chakra and your heart center. If you feel little funny feelings, bubbles, whatever, it's totally normal as you're doing energetic work here. And it shows you that there's more than your body, right? Such a cool piece to just show us that there's more than our body, that things are happening on these subtle bodies and these other levels beyond the physical. And we're just letting it pour directly into my chest, clearing out that heart space, removing anything here that isn't serving me, and just replacing it with pure light and love. Just receive it, and you can do like a thank you mantra. Just be thankful and grateful and receptive. Receive the shift, receive the love, receive the guidance. Receive everything that you need in order to reunite with the truth of your soul, right? Which is that you are innately deserving of the love, that you are innately deserving of the health, that you are innately deserving of the wealth. That there's no limits or barriers to those things outside of the physical reality. Just letting all of that cleansing energy and cleansing love move through my chest. Deep breaths. Let it wash through you. And I'm going to give you just a moment to add your own dialogue. Here's the time now where you can speak, ask for what you need, declare, make commitments. Think about this training so far. Think about this session. What did you learn that you need to declare and claim for yourself? Claim it now. What was unsaid? What's personal to you that you need to ask for, that you need to be available to receiving from infinite intelligence, from infinite love? What do you need personally to invite into your life in order to align with that highest vision? And I'm holding space for all of your big visions. We're keeping them intact. We're keeping them connected. And no matter what it looks like on the outside, we know that this is a possibility for us. We know that this is a reality that's possible for us. Expressing gratitude and thankfulness to God, Source, angels, universe. Thank you for all the love that you poured into this space. Thank you for all the women that showed up today. I thank each and every one of you individually for being here. And let's just affirm that it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. So thank you guys for being here so much. I've enjoyed this immensely. You are so worthy of it all. You don't have to pick and choose. You don't have to have shitty options in your life. You don't have to pick between this or that, right? You can have the love, you can have the health, you can have the wealth, and you can have it all at once. And if that's the vision that God actually wants for you, that's the life that God wants for you. He doesn't want you to feel incomplete and unfulfilled. And you can go out there and make this reality happen for yourself. But it all starts with you believing that you deserve it and holding on to that vision with the utmost faith. In the comments after this training, there will be a divine offer to start your journey of how to wear a crown from the ground up. This is only a small taste of what this program is all about, and it is, I think, the best offer that I've had in a really long time. It's going to be 75% off for self-guided queens. That means you take yourself through the journey. You're self-responsible. You don't need that much, guidance. So maybe you can just, it's for those people who maybe even want to, right? You might like to walk through those pathways by yourself. So you could do them in your own time, in your own way, in your own space. And it's a really beautiful way to do this walk. It's the way that I did it. It's the way that I love to do all of my journeys, self-guided. So I'm gonna offer that to you guys today, and you can start for under $100. I think it's like 93 bucks is the price to start today on a payment plan. And that offer will be in the comments below. If you need anything, if I can serve you in any other way, please feel free to reach out to me in the DMs, in the email, and all the things you can find. Anything you need to find about me, about my program, at www.racheldgreenwell.com. Thank you so much for allowing me the space and time to serve you. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. God loves you so much. Mwah.